This is Miss Alex here. Tomorrow I'm going to be teaching a lesson to the second graders about how to write paragraphs in a structured form with a topic sentence, supporting sentences, closing sentences. So I just wanted to talk about what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to do it, and I might try and record a video to see how it goes. If anything, if it doesn't go smoothly or something like that, I'll record it too. So I wrote out a whole lesson plan on how to teach my second graders, which are in a multi-grade, first, second, and third grade Montessori class, and how I'm going to teach them and how it is meeting the state standards and benchmarks for language arts, performance standards using capitalization, punctuation, and paragraphs in one's writing. Plan and make judgments about what to include in written products, narratives of personal experiences, creative stories, skills based on familiar stories and experiences, compose first drafts using writing process, and revise to clearly clarify and refine, write structured, informative presentations and narratives when given help with organization. So we're all working on organization for making paragraphs today. And so that was my lesson plan, and then this talks about the materials that you'll need: the strips of colors, markers, some register tape. I have green construction paper that I line, strips of yellow and red, which I have that will fit on the colors, markers of those colors. Register tape, a lot of times you'll find them in restaurants, is how I know them. It's basically strips of tape. And just, this was brainstorming topic, and this is the final product, and this is what we have right here. And this is them writing it in their notebook. So I will go over all those steps too. So first I would start off talking about stoplights and kind of making observations with the kids. You know, what are stoplights, what are they for, and what colors are on them, and what does each color mean, and what does it represent. And so I have right here, stoplight to stand up while you're talking about it. And I'll probably laminate this so it's not as flimsy. And then on the other side, it's the same exact stoplight, and I have an explanation about each one. And this will probably be posted in the classroom to help students remember this. This is the go stoplight. And so it's going to be your go sentence, your topic sentence. What do you want to talk about in your paragraph? What is the main idea? It's kind of the starting sentence. Slow down, supportive sentences, 3, 2, 1, kind of like a countdown. For kids to remember that there's 3 sentences that they need to write, and it all has to give more detail to the topic sentence. And then the stop is the closing sentence. Write a sentence that ties everything together. Restate what you said in the topic sentence, saying it in a new and different way. Restate might be a good vocabulary word at the time, so we'll probably add it to vocabulary or spelling list. But also, instead of just saying restate what you said, period, I'd like to kind of restate the word itself twice. So I say restate what you said in the topic sentence, saying it in a new and different way. And I said saying it in a new and different way because I'm kind of giving context to what the word restate means. So that will be hung up in the classroom. And next, what we would start doing is, since it's fall, I would like to brainstorm with the kids about fall in general with them. I would like to talk about, you know, what do you think about when it's fall? What holidays are going on, and what holidays are going on? What do you feel? What reminds you of fall? So I would have a whiteboard, but I don't have a whiteboard at home. We would talk about fall paragraph brainstorming. And things that I wrote that I remember fall as is Halloween, candy, pumpkins, haunted house, chilly weather, balloon fiesta, which is a kind of a big thing here in Albuquerque. People come from all over the world to see hot air balloons, and hundreds of hot air balloons all take off at the same time. It's kind of a yearly thing, and a lot of the kids try to get to it every year, and it's we talk about it every October. Thanksgiving, almost Christmas, leaves changing, and the color orange. I always love when leaves change and all the pretty colors that you see in fall. So I picked Balloon Fiesta to write about because I think it's always a great thing. So what we would do is in our notebooks we would we'd probably brainstorm together, and I would give all the students this kind of a brainstorming sentence web. So we kind of talked about how every October my family goes to the Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so I would talk about, okay, so that's a great topic sentence. That gets the reader interested. It's something new. It's something about yourself. It's very personal. So let's go ahead and write some sentences. And I would actually have them write 5 sentences that give more detail. My mom's favorite balloon is the Creamland cow. We go early to watch the balloons set up. We take great pictures of the balloons. There are hundreds of balloons every year. It is very cold in the morning. So those are 5 sentences that talk about the Balloon Fiesta. Now I'd want them to go and maybe they can work with a partner or work with a friend. Like, what 3 sentences do you think I should pick from there? So that way students can pick the best sentences that they come up with to give more detail to it. And we would all do this as a class first to create a paragraph all together as a class, and then I would give the students their own individual projects. So the 3 sentences I chose are, there are hundreds of balloons every year. That's something that is very important and big to the Balloon Fiesta. And it's an important fact, and it kind of gets people interested about it. I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing. We go early to watch the balloons set up. That's kind of a neat little thing about the Balloon Fiesta too. Gives details, and my mom's favorite balloon is the Creamland cow. The other one is very cold in the morning. It is cold in the morning of the Balloon Fiesta, but it's not really the best. It doesn't really support my family goes to the Balloon Fiesta every year as much as the other sentences, and we take great pictures of the balloons, and that's kind of like a little side fact. I'd like the student to actually talk about going to the Balloon Fiesta. What about your family? My mom, your dad, whatever. Talk about your family, and talk about going, and talk about being specific. So then what they do is they would end up taking the register tape, and here I cut the register tape in half to give it a little thin because it doesn't need to be hugely wide. And this is register tape, and it's basically just paper tape, and I have a long string of it. So they'd write their first sentence, and then they'd go ahead and cut it out off after the first sentence, and I'd like them to work with 1 sentence at a time. So then after they do that, they would start off the top. And we'd also talk about indenting, about why you indent to make it easier to read, to make it recognizable where the start of the sentence is. And then, so we'd indent, and then they'd tape down their first sentence until it stopped. And they'd have to cut up the sentence after a word to make it all fit. And then after that, you have to write your supporting sentences. What order do you want to write them in? We aren't going to glue things down until the very end, until it looks complete, but you can at least cut it and place it on the paper together. And like I said, we would all do this as a class first before they did it themselves. We'd create a class paragraph. And then after that, they would write their next 3 supportive sentences by themselves, cut apart on the paper. And they would write the sentences, and they'd have 3 sentences laid out in front of them. So then they would go, well, which one? And they can reorganize them and actually touch the sentences and change the sentences themselves. And they would reorganize them into starting here. So if you ended here, you would start off with the first sentence after that sentence, and you cut off the yellow, and you're going to create yellow blocks for where the sentences are going to go, and you're just going to kind of put them in order. And then after that, you're going to have to brainstorm about a closing sentence that ties it all in, goes back to the beginning of the sentence, to your topic sentence, and ties it all together. So in our final end, we would end up with a product like this that represents the stoplight. Our go sentence every October, my family goes to the balloon fiesta. 3 supporting sentences that support that. We love to get there early to watch the balloons set up. There are hundreds of balloons every year. My mom's favorite balloon is the cream-limbed cow. And so then we talk about, okay, so it sounds like your family loves the balloon fiesta and they get excited about the balloon fiesta and they go every year. So the closing sentence is, my family can't wait until next year's balloon fiesta. So earlier they said, at the topic sentence, they said every year. So obviously they're going to go next year, and it kind of ties it all together, and that's a great idea, great sentence. After that, you're going to distribute lined paper that you gave all the students, and if they need to write on the back, then you can create lines on the back too if they end up just like a very regular page in their notebook. They would do double-sided. Now, to tie this into their regular writing, because they're not always going to be constructing sentences and cutting apart sentences and gluing them and everything like that, gluing them down, they would have to take their work journal, and if you'd like, or you can just leave it there, but I think it would be good to tie it into the writing in the work journal so they get used to writing in the work journal in structured paragraphs. So I rewrote the paragraph and I copied it down into the work journal. And then you can take a marker and underline with the color the sentence that they wrote, so that they know this is the topic sentences. These are my slow down supporting sentences that support my go sentence, and this is my stop sentence, to tie it all together. And honestly, if it works really well for them and they're writing during their regular writer's workshop, they can highlight and underline and stuff like that if they kind of find that fun. So then kind of gets it into their head and they understand it. And so that would be my lesson, and I'm going to be teaching this tomorrow, so hopefully it'll all go good. I feel pretty confident about it. Several other teachers use this method for teaching first paragraphs, and